To cross over to Kisumu County, I'm told the Secretary General for COTU, Francis Atwoli, is speaking on the nurses' strike. Let's listen in.
There's something serious within nurses' union, because some governors had entered into agreement with the branch officials of Kenya Nurses Union in their respective counties, and nurses are on duty working. And what the cabinet secretary was supposed to do was to ignite the labor officers in counties to take charge of negotiating under tripartism arrangement, bringing in governors and bringing in the union officials in those counties and entering into a return to work formula. And with him in headquarters to reach out to the Secretary General of Nurses and his entire team to renegotiate if the government or those counties that are not in a position to pay immediately the allowances, they renegotiate the agreement because they signed. When you enter into the bank and you are paid your signature on a loan, you must pay that loan. And a country that is credible, a country that is ruled under specific democratic principles, and a country that respects both national and international norms of respecting institutions that are free and independent institutions, must look for a way, either diplomatic way or a direct way of solving its own problems. You don't use thoraxes or you don't corner people and so on. Our President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, means well for this country. But some of other things, there are people who are there, us included, and that is why we have tripartism arrangement to solve such like things before he comes in. We expect him to comment on an issue when, if it is a nationwide strike, either called by the Central Organization of Trade Unions on a certain big, huge disagreement, other than an affiliate of COTU, a small union like nurses, you prompt the president to make comments. It shows how immature, ineptness, and inability for you to solve such a problem as a cabinet secretary. I can assure you for free that that is something, even if you would have reached out to me, it's not something that can take a day before we resolve. We want our president to think, do a lot of things. He has a legacy to lead, has a political issues to handle, and he has a lot of work, including security issues to protect us, and also to do a lot of big things are the things he's doing to work out both locally and national, other than being reduced to a president who can be able to handle shop level and branch level things, like making comments on nurses' issue. That is an issue that would have been resolved by Labour Commissioner and his officers. Having said that, that is why we are saying that the Minister of Labour, this college will be free and will give access to most of his either new Labour officers or the current serving Labour officers to come here for refresher courses on enormous industrial relations machinery that this country have. So that is my take, that this issue of threatening nurses and so on in a country that is respected by the International Labour Organization, and for your information, the Director General of ILO has invited our president as a guest speaker this year in Geneva. And he should not, his junior officers should not mislead him in making him appear as if he's an autocratic president who can comment and give orders to a situation that have been prompted by certain other elements who did append their signatures on an agreement of which they did not honor, to make it appear as if he's using, he has gone out of industrial relations machinery to resolve the strike of the striking nurses. To paint him black, we shouldn't do that. We respect him, we respect our president, we respect the government, and our government respects the independence of those free and independent organizations which are not departments of civil service. So we don't want to mar the good name that Kenya has because of inability of other few guys within the government to resolve such like problems. And as I did say yesterday, if I was a head of state today, the CS Labour would have packed his things and gone home. He's not competent to stand up on any national television and tell us how he thinks about Kenya, labour market and other related issues if he cannot resolve as such a small issue. Because what nurses are waiting for is either how can they renegotiate the agreement they have. They have a valid document with them signed by the Council of Governors at that particular time, which has not been honored. And somebody would have called the Council of Governors for renegotiating the same agreement, extending or postponing, and they enter into a return to work formula, and the nurses would be working. Today, they would be in their places of work, other than asking the chairman, who is my neighbor at home, the man I respect, Governor Paranya, to talk on a subject that he doesn't understand. I know him as an accountant. He's not an industrial relations player. He's zero in that particular area. So he needs to consult widely. To me, even if he's listening to me, somebody should tell him, Honorable Governor, that we respect Honorable Paranya, though currently he doesn't have even a political stand, but he should be able to consult widely, other than giving ultimatums that might not be of any help as far as industrial relations practice in this country is concerned. And those are the people we are opening these colleges for them. Those governors who don't understand, you might have been elected because of your popularity and so on. Like Oparanya has done a very good job in Kakamega County, and that does not qualify him to be an industrial relations practitioner. He needs to consult widely, and we'll give him a free advice on these things, as how they are run and how they are conducted. We have a college here, we have people who are competent, we have Dr.
We've been listening in on Secretary General for COTU Atwoli, even as he weighs in on the NASA strike, and he is being very clear, saying that he feels the president has been misadvised, he has been misled in commenting on such a dispute. It's not something that the CS for Labour cannot handle, and going forward, the government needs to find a diplomatic way of resolving this dispute, considering that in 2017, an agreement with governors, the government and the nurses union was actually penned, and there was a plan on how to execute going forward. So that is what should be the conversation on the table, and the relevant stakeholders should keep and focus on that.